I am Dr.K.Rani, Assistant Professor, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. Income Tax Second Unit, Provident Fund. What do you mean by Provident Fund? There are various types of Provident Fund account that individual use of saving. Also, the income tax rules for Provident contribution, withdrawal and income of Provident funds. Depending on the types of Provident Fund, cannot let us understand the various types of Provident Fund and their tax. Types of Provident Fund. There are different types of Provident Fund utilized by a person for investment or regulated saving for retirement. They are as follows. Statutory Provident Fund. The schedule is set up under the Provident Fund Act 1925. It is meant for government employees, university, recognized educational institution, railway, etc. It is also known as General Provident Fund. The interest rate of General Provident Fund are revised from time to time by the government. Recognized Provident Fund. The Provident Fund Act 1952 applies to all establishment employing 20 or more employees. The established cover under this scheme can either apply for the government approved scheme or started PF scheme by forming their test. The establishment can join the government approval scheme set up under Provident Fund Act 1952, which is a recognized Provident Fund. Unrecognized Provident Fund. If the Commissioner of Income Tax Act does not approve the Provident Fund scheme created by the employer and employees, then such scheme is an unrecognized Provident Fund scheme. Public Provident Fund. The government has established a Provident Fund for the general public. Any person can contribute to this scheme by opening a public Provident Fund account with the authorized the bank. Employees Provident Fund. The Employees Provident Fund is a well-known Provident Fund scheme often discussed in salary-related matters. It is widely adopted by private sector organizations. For individual with a salary rupees 15,000 or lower, the Employer Provident Fund contribute or distribute as follows. Employee Provident Fund 12% salary. The employer contribution 3.67% of the salary. Employer contribution EPS 8.3% of the salary. Statutory Provident Fund. Employer contribution on the deduction allowed under Section 80C. Employer contribution to the fund exempted for tax. Interest income exempted from tax. On retirement, the lump sum amount received by the employee is exempted. Recognized Provident Fund. Employee contribute to the fund deduction allowed under Section 80C. Employer contribution to the fund exempted 12% of the salary. Interest income exempted up to 9.5 interest. Unrecognized Provident Fund. Employer contribution to the fund nil. Employer contribution to the fund exempted from tax. Interest income exempted from tax. Below amount received on retirement tax as well. Employees contribution nil. Interest on employee contribution taxable under the head income from other source. Employer contribution taxable under the head salary. Interest on employer's contribution taxable under the heads of salary. Public Provident Fund contribution deduction allowed under Section 80C. Interest exempted from tax. There are three types of scheme under the Act, namely Employer Provident Fund Scheme, Employee Pension Fund Scheme, Employee Deposit Linked Insurance Scheme. If there any DTS withdrawal, Employee Provident Fund balance, yes, tax is deducted at source. 10% PF withdraw before 5 years of service. The Employer Provident Fund is a very interesting and very useful for the employers. employer contribution 12% of salary is exempted for the all recognizing provident funds. Contribution 12% of salary is exempted. Above that is added to salary income of the employee. Any interest and above 9.5% added to income from salaries. Provident fund is investment fund that is a voluntary established by employer and employee to serve a long-term saving support employees retirement. Source of fund employees contribution, the amount deduction for the employee salary at the rate of 2% and 15%. In this subsection, Income Tax Act in the remuneration amount received by the individual from state, central or local government, the man-made or natural disaster are exempted from tax. The section states the salary employee received a house rent allowance in the salary. Thank you.